I'm going to cut to the chase now. Amanda here. If you don't know Amanda, she always talks about Anfield 89. Always. Exactly.
We've had a good chat.
Yeah. And she says that you can vouch for her presence at Anfield in 99
Yeah, I
that
saw
night.
Rocky Rocastle give her the bunch of flowers, which she left at Anfield. Wait till I tell Janet, she won't be happy. But
Amanda, I'm gonna hand you the mic, and you
Me?
you can talk away.
Are you interviewing me now?
I'm interviewing Alan Smith. This is like a weird thing. Okay. So that night, when you travelled up, that day when you travelled up to Anfield, did you all believe you could?
We did believe it. It was an attitude of nothing to lose, really. We pinned up that article in the Daily Mirror. I think that Graham Souness wrote, Men Against Boys, and we've reminded him about that since. But that gave us a bit of a G up. Nobody fancied us, so yeah. I mean, obviously we hadn't been in good form going into it, but it was a one-off match, and as I say, we were just going to give it a go and see where it got us.
But no one went to Anfield, did they?
No, they didn't. They didn't. It was a fortress, you know. For younger fans, it's hard to really get their heads around that now. But the Stamford Bridge of its day, maybe. People didn't used to be. What was a brilliant team,
Yeah, they were
amazing team who kept the ball for fun. So from that point of view, we'd had one or two good results against them though, in the years before and then after as well. George gave us a great team talk, a fantastic team talk.
So you're in the changing rooms. And you can obviously hear the crowd, I'm assuming, or not?
No, not really, no. You're in your own little world in the changing rooms and you're going through your routine and then you're listening to the gaffer give his team talk. It's only really when you run out onto the pitch that you're aware of the crowd.
So the minutes leading up to coming down the tunnel, you know what you've got to do. You've got to win by 2 clear goals. You're at Anfield. You can hear the roar of the crowd. You know there's thousands of Arsenal fans there. Liverpool is, as we said, a fortress. When you came down those steps, how did you feel when you ran on the pitch?
Nervous. We'd obviously got the bouquets of flowers in our hands, so we were thinking of what we got to do with those first, really. So, in a way, it takes your mind off it. So, you know, we all went to all 4 corners of the ground, gave those away, and the noise was incredible because there was so much emotion in the ground as well because of Hillsborough. But as I said, George put us in the right frame of mind those minutes before, shook everyone's hand, I think, as we went out, and he didn't normally do that. But he didn't tell us to go at it gung-ho. He said, listen, lads, as long as we don't concede up until half-time, you know, we're on schedule. He said, you know, we'll attack, but don't attack willy-nilly. And then when we came in at half-time, he was pleased. He said, it's all going according to plan, lads. We just want to push on a bit more now. Get Lee and Nigel bombing up the wing, and let's take a few more chances. So he was brilliant from that point of view.
So the free kick comes, and I've always wanted to say this, and I asked you this before. Did you touch it?
Yeah, I did touch it. I can't believe Arsenal fans would even doubt that. It's funny though. It's funny because you know, everyone asked me that, but I actually got a really solid flick on it. It's just that the direction of the ball didn't change too much. But if you look at it carefully, you can tell really. And it was a free kick that we used to practice in training till we were blue in the face, and it used to drive us mad, because it never used to come off in a match. You know, there was me, Tony, and Baldy, and was it Baldy or Tony go around the back? One of the two, Baldy, I think, and. You know, it just never came off, and we used to think, why do we bother? But obviously it came off on the biggest night possible. Tony flung himself nowhere near the ball and created a distraction, and then I just managed to sneak in.
Okay, so now we're 1-0 up. We know, as Arsenal fans and Arsenal, the whole of the club, we've got to win, but we've got to get another goal, and we've got to stop them scoring. It's got to be 2 clear goals. And as I said to you before, that Mickey Thomas went through before and missed, or he saved. I can't remember. It was a bit of a time ago.
Yeah, he toe poked it.
He toe poked, and I was behind the goal. And obviously, that was it. As far as I'm concerned, we've not won. We've played really well. We've not won. Now I want you to describe Mickey going through. I want you to describe that moment of. I mean, it's one of the most iconic moments in Arsenal's history.
It was weird because I always thought we'd score, and like Anfield started whistling for the full time whistle like 5, maybe 10 minutes before the end. So we were looking over to the bench, how long left? And they were pointing at the watch. But anyway, I couldn't believe it when Lukey threw it out instead of kicking it. So he's just casually thrown it out to Lee, who's passed it at some pace up to me. And I thought, as it was coming towards me, I've got to turn in one here because we haven't got much time to spare. I've got to take a chance and try and turn with my first touch. And it was a nice first touch. And then I saw Mickey in my vision straight away, and I just tried to poke it towards him because he was great at making those third-man runs beyond the striker. And obviously he got a break of the ball, and then I'm kind of running behind him, 10, 15 yards behind him. Now you have to remember that Mickey was the most laid-back man in the world. He would never do anything in a hurry. He would always do everything at his own pace. So I'm thinking, I can see the Liverpool lads converging, and I'm just thinking they're going to get a tackle in here, and I'm begging for him to shoot. I've got a perfect view of it. And in the end, obviously, he said afterwards he was waiting for Bruce Grobbelaar to make his move to go down, and that's when he flicked it over. But it was agonising watching it, and it did almost seem like slow motion.
Stevie Nicol nearly got to it, didn't he?
I think Ray Houghton, he kicks himself that he didn't foul him, yeah. And they didn't make contact. But yeah, and then when it went in, I went to Mickey, but then I could see all our fans celebrating. So I thought, sod Mickey, I'll go over and milk the applause. He did that back flick on his neck, which anybody else would break the neck.
Martin Hayes stopped him, do you remember? He stopped him, and I was like, don't stop him doing that.
Yeah, because he was a bullish strength, Mickey had. I remember one day in training, George was on his back trying to get him to do a press up in the right way, and Mickey was just holding him. George was sat on his back. I mean, he could have broken his back, but he was strong as an ox, and a legend, obviously.
Right, okay, so then, before then, obviously, we got Steve McMahon doing 1 minute. That's quite iconic for us as well. Mickey scores, and we classed it as the 89th minute, but obviously it was the 91st minute or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And we win.
We win.
We win.
We did win.
I don't even remember.
We did win.
I don't remember what happened next. I personally don't remember what happened next because everyone where I was beyond ballistic, celebrating. I remember George and some of the players coming off the bench when Mickey scored, and George was stopping everything. He was like that, wasn't he? He was right. Calm down. He was quite calm, George, wasn't he?
Well, he had Hillsborough in mind, and he just wanted to make sure that we didn't overzealously celebrate, because as I said, it was a poignant moment. So he was very much in control of his emotions.
And what was lovely was a lot of Liverpool fans stayed behind to clap the team.
Yeah, we really appreciated that. Went round with a trophy, and the cop gave us a standing ovation, as did all the other corners of the ground. The police, the stewards, went into the players' lounge afterwards where my family was, the bloke on the door, well done lads, congratulations. So that meant a lot.
I know, they were fabulous. I remember being outside before and after. But what that moment when you lifted it, when you lifted it was the league, I don't even know what you call it. It wasn't Division 1, wasn't it? Division 1.
Yeah.
Go on. When you lifted it. When you'd beaten Anfield, you've beaten Liverpool at Anfield.
It's one of those really that it doesn't sink in until a few days after, and maybe weeks and months after, really, that you've done it in those circumstances. At the moment, in that moment, you're caught up in it. The adrenaline's pumping. Can't quite believe it. Tony was so composed. He gave an interview to ITV to Jim Rosenthal, I remember, and he was so dignified and composed. Celebrated in the dressing room, obviously. Talk of we wrecked the dressing room and that. There's no truth in that at all. But we had a great time, and got on the coach, and the journey back to London seemed to last about 5 minutes. We were singing at the back of the bus, and George came to the back, which he never did. Having a drink with us and having a little sing. So it was just a moment in time.
Well, for people my age, it is, isn't it, Chris? It's the most iconic.
It's really weird. I'm standing next to Alan Smith, and I was in that end, and you don't really know how weird this is. I can't get my head around this. And can I just say, about how well the Liverpool fans behaved? I remember I never got a programme, and it was really bugging me. and I was walking up the road, and this Liverpool fan came up to me because he heard me saying to my friends, "I ain't got a programme." He goes, "Here," he goes, I'll not ever forget that. And I've still got that programme at home.
They didn't want it, did
No,
they?
no.
They didn't want it. I'll sign it for you if you like.
I've got one actually, but I just want to say thank you so much
Pleasure.
for talking to us, because this is it now. I can die happy.
No.
I can die happy. I've
always-
had Mickey Thomas on our podcast. I've now had Alan Smith on this.
It's always a pleasure talking about Anfield 89. Never tire of it.
Thank you.
Never
Thank
tire
you
of
for
it.
listening to that. Thank you.
Coming on. Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Why play Sanchez, who should even be on the pitch? He should be. If he's going to rest a player, why not rest Sanchez? But the whole performance encapsulated where Arsenal Football Club, as a club, are in this present moment. If you wanted an evidence of a summer of total lack of any transfers, watch that performance. If you wanted an evidence of where if Coquelin got injured, watch that performance.